Our podcast is a part of the World Podcast Network, now with over 1,000 podcasts. Visit the World Podcast Network at worldpodcast.network to listen to podcasts in over 12 genres. Come vote our podcast episodes up and help us rise on the leaderboard. If you have a podcast of your own, you can join for free. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today we are going to be discussing the third episode of 90 Day UK. But before we do, I do have a very quick hot goss. I haven't gotten to read the article quite yet, but we'll just kind of say this as an informal one without the article, because I meant to put this on the second episode, which you would have gotten yesterday, but I forgot. But Kalani has welcomed a daughter with her boyfriend, Dallas. Didn't even know she was pregnant, but yikes. Choices, man. But congratulations to her. Children are a blessing. Yay. That's basically it. I will have more for you, but that's it for now. Let's jump into the reason that we are here. 90 Day UK Season 3, Episode 3. Right? 3. Be a man, not a baby. So let's start with Charlotte and Johan. So she has landed in Punta Cana and she can't find him. No. Maybe he ditched me for another woman. There's going to be a theme with this, because she constantly thinks that she's being ditched for another woman. 24 hours earlier, we actually see her calling him. And he's not answering the phone. And she's like, maybe he's at work or, logical thing. She says this happens sometimes with long distance relationships. Sometimes you just don't get in touch with each other. But then she moves on to then be like, maybe he's with someone else. How do you go from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds? But anyway, back to the present. We do see him. He is there to meet her. And they're on their way back to the resort. And on the way there, she's asking, like, how many people do you have coming to the wedding? And he says, about 80 people, which isn't crazy. 80, first of all, actually, it is pretty crazy. 80 people that one person knows. How do you know them with so much people? I mean, I guess over my lifetime, I've met over 80 people, but I don't have 80 people besides, outside of my family that I would necessarily want at my wedding. Even then, like, you still have to, if I were to include my entire family, it's going to be well over 80 people. But it's like, you're going to pick and choose, right? You're going to have, the people who are close to you. It still doesn't amount to 80 people. You know what I mean? How does this 21-year-old know 80 people? Anyway. She's like, I have like maybe 2 people, her mom and her sister. That's it. Those are the only 2 people. See, that makes more sense. I mean, I know more than 2 people, but like, that makes more sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're now at the hotel or the resort, and we get to the room, and he has decorated the room quite tastefully, I would say, with rose petals. And the main part that's tasteful is the pictures that he's hung up on the wall. There are no fairy lights, and he hasn't hung up like all 1,000 pictures that they've probably taken together. And it's not like a shrine. Take notes, John. Anyway, they are literally at this precise moment in time actively trying to get pregnant. They have only spent 20 days in total with each other. He's 21 years old. I understand that she's a little older and whatever, but you're not that old that you can't wait a year or two after getting married, especially because you're getting married now. You can wait a year at the very least of marriage, you know? Like, I don't understand people who, with all this with Louise and Jose too, it's like, he's not even in the country yet with you and you want to try and have a kid with him. He's not even going to be there to be a support system for you. I guess, I don't get it. Anyways, it's the next day now and she, apparently she's a snorer. It's a problem. And it is what it is, though. He's gonna have to get used to it, she says. But he has to work today, so she's gonna be on her own. So while she's alone, she goes to the pool and she makes a new friend who also lives in England. And she says, "Oh, why are you with a friend, the new friend? Why are you here?" She's like, "Oh, my fiance's here." "Oh, does he live here?" Yeah, he lives here. Yeah. And she's like, "Doesn't it bother you that, he could be, you know, entertaining other women, flirting at the very least with other women?" And she's, obviously, yes, that bothers her. And I think somehow the age comes in, whether she asks how old he is and whatever. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm 34 and he's 21. And she's like, "Oh, that's an age difference." You don't fucking say. Lord. Um, and she's like, "Oh, what's that on your finger?" Well, she did mention she was getting married, or that he was her fiance. And she's like, "Oh, it's the ring." And she's like, "Yeah, like I'm actually getting married while I'm here." She's like, "Oh my God." She's like, "Must be expensive to keep traveling back and forth like this." The answer is, yes, it is. And she's like, "Do you want the, first of all, this is a producer plant." But the woman keeps asking some questions that me as a random person would never ask another random person who I don't know from Adam. Like, I'm not gonna ask you whether or not you want to have kids. And I wouldn't appreciate someone asking me if I want kids. That's Nunya. Okay. But anyways, this person that's asked, "Do you want to have kids?" And she's obviously like, "Yes." And she says, "Are you guys trying?" "What do you mean? Or are you like trying right away?" "What?" And she says, "People are just gonna think that he came here for a visa, or he's with you for a visa. What if he leaves?" And the funny thing about this is this random ass person who she's never met before this moment, so she says, is saying all of the things that her family and friends have been saying to her. But when her friends and family say it to her, it's, "I'm going to prove them wrong." When this random person says it to her, it's, this woman's really making me think about things. What the actual fuck? What's the actual fuck? She's saying nothing different. So why is it she's making you think about things, whereas with everybody else, it's, "I gotta prove them wrong." Well, they're the ones that are closer to you. I get that, and they're the ones that you need to prove wrong. You don't give a shit about this person's opinion, but at the same time, clearly you do. Like, it's me. I'd be like, "Mind your business." But you know, keep the same energy with your family and friends with this person. It was weird. But then after she's done having this conversation with this random person, she goes to the bar and is talking to the bartender and is kind of saying the same things and how her fiance's Dominican and all this. And he, she's like, could he be flirting with the other women? He works in entertainment. Like, could he be doing that? He's like, yeah. You didn't need this another random person to tell you this. And then the other thing too is, I think he makes mention of, oh yeah, English women like energy or like men with energy or something like that. And I'm just like, gross. Ew. But anyways, um, so it's a little later on now, and she's still waiting for Johan. It's been about 40 minutes now past his shift ending, and I don't know if she's necessarily tried calling him, but she's tried texting him. It's going to be the one line thing, so it's clearly not actually delivering, which gives me the notion that his phone is either dead or off. And not great. I mean, if it's dead, there's nothing you can do about that. But then again, why does it take you 40 minutes to get back? Like, I don't know if he works on the resort that they're currently on, or if he works in a different resort. And if he works at a different resort, then how far is that resort to this resort? But then again, if he works at this resort that they're currently staying in, then it shouldn't take you 40 minutes to get back to her. You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's weird. But yeah. She says if he doesn't come back, then they're done. Okay. All right. Whatever you say, I guess. Anyway, that's basically it with Charlotte and Johan. Next, we have Jamie and Kathleen. He is back at Cyprus. It says that he's not meeting with her yet because she has to work. So he's gonna get situated, get to the hotel, get comfortable, get clean, all of those things. We're gonna go through the process with him. So he gets a text from his mom as soon as he walks through the door. It's like she has a radar on him, or I don't know. And his mom apparently packed his bag for him. What the fuck? How old is he? 33? 30 something? And you have mommy packing your suitcase? This man, listen, I don't know if I can sit here and say Kathleen is after his money or using him or anything like that. I don't know enough. But what I have figured out is he is a mama's boy and she can do way better. That I know. Anyway, then he calls his mom and he says, I'm here. I miss you. I miss you. You've been gone how long? But I miss you. I mean, I get missing your mom. It's been a day. I miss you. He's like, yeah, the flight, it was good. It was good, but turbulent. It was a little turbulent. Yeah. So he's actually going to go take a shower, unlike some people on this show, and before he sees her, so it's great. Kathleen, he says, is now finished work, so he's going to go pick her up, and he is driving. He's getting all excited, counting down the minutes from which he will be near her. And when he gets there, he parks the car, he gets out the car, and he's walking towards her. We see her, but she's not even fucking moving, like, at all. And she's just standing there. She's not making a move. She's not saying hello. She's not cracking a smile. It's the weirdest thing. And Yeah. It feels very awkward. And I literally wrote, what the fuck is happening? Not a lot. But anyway, 24 hours earlier, we see him talking to his mom, saying, you know, it was a bit awkward with her the last time he was there, which is interesting because he kind of was like with this moment when he's picking her up, kind of being like, is she so awkward with me? She's not usually like this. But then 2 seconds later, you find out, oh, she was like this. Um, and his mom's like, really? And he's like, yeah, she was. But you know what? It's probably because of the other woman I cheated on her with. I'm sorry. So we find out, because it's a lot more than this. It's actually very interesting. It's kind of like a mixture of Ross and Rachel. Were they really done? Or, and a little bit of a mix of breaking girl code. So here's what happened. He tells us that after he had broken it off with her, one of the times, I don't know if they broke up more than once, but when they broke up, he ended up talking to her friend, who I guess was expressing interest in him and flirting, and he ended up dating her for a time. Now, she constitutes this as cheating on her. It's not cheating. It's fucking unethical, immoral. What the fuck? But it's not cheating because they weren't together. So yeah, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. That's what it is. And yeah, I think he's kind of like, she's clearly like not over or something like that. Meanwhile, while we're back in the present day, um, she has kind of now like showed some, and he's like, okay, can we go get some drinks or something? Like, hello. And she's like, bring the car closer. Like a, like a goddamn queen. She's like, bring the car closer. I'm not walking to the car. You bring it to me. And she could have just like, if you do good. But the one thing, I'll give her a break. Merely because she is a domestic worker. She takes care of people's homes and kids and shit. So we'll give her a break. But yeah, he brings the car closer. And once she's in the car, he's going to like drive off. But all of a sudden it's like, you see the back windshield wiper wiping, and he's like, he couldn't drive the car no more, even though he drove the car and it seemed seamless. This time around, it didn't seem seamless. But now we are having some drinks. And he says, did you miss me? She says, yes. And he's like, you are always on my mind. You were always on my mind. And she literally responds with like, then why did you cheat on me? Now, as mentioned, it wasn't cheating. They were not together. Okay, Ross and Rachel. Okay, they weren't together. But this is how she feels. And he's like, listen, it wasn't cheating. We weren't together. Number one. Number two, being with her helped me to appreciate our relationship just that much more. Said every man who's cheated. Being with her made me appreciate you more. I've heard that a time or two. Seriously. He's like, you can trust me. Said again, every man who's cheated. And she is basically says, you gotta prove it to me. And he says, I will prove it to you. But now we're at what he refers to as their favorite restaurant. Kathleen, on the other hand, does not like this restaurant. She says they always go to this restaurant. She's sick and tired of this restaurant. Then he starts texting his mom while they're at the restaurant that he says is their favorite, yet she says it sucks. He just starts texting her. And he's like, yeah, she's gonna call us soon. What? And Kathleen's like, what the fuck? Can't you not have a dinner with your girlfriend for whom you haven't seen in however months he said it was without mom calling you? I just, okay. Um, then she says, or, or I think she's giving him food, and he's like, I love when she takes care of me. Because he's incapable of taking care of himself. He has mom over here who does everything for him, like packing his bags and feeding him and shit. And then you have Kathleen, who I think wants to be able to take care of her man, which is nothing wrong with that. But he doesn't need to grow up. I would never procreate with a man like him because, like, how do I know you're going to take care of your own kid? I feel like you would pawn your kid off to your mom to take care of the kid when I'm not there because, like, you're capable of taking care of yourself. So how can I trust you can take care of a kid? Like, I would never. She says that she wants him to be more romantic, and like, she tells him that. And he's like, what can I do to be more romantic? I brought her to her favorite restaurant. That's romantic. Meanwhile, it's not her favorite restaurant. And she says like he's not romantic. Which so she says, so what will happen when they live in UK together? Like, will they be living with his parents? Yeah. He's never gonna leave his parents. The cord was never cut. Okay. And again, to be with a man like him, you literally have to be okay with the cord never being cut. Ever. Ever. He says the fucking grossest thing in this moment. It's just, if so gross. He literally says, yeah, one could be massaging my shoulders while the other is massaging my legs, in reference to Kathleen and his mother. His mother. His fucking mother. He's sick. This whole thing is sick. It's sick. It feels sick. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway. He loves the fact that they will compete over him, which again, this is him referring to his girlfriend and his mother. He's going to love that they're going to be pit against each other and fight for his affection. Let that shit sink in. It's so gross to me that this man, it's gross on many levels, but the main thing being, and this is actually a conversation that actually, on my other podcast, me and Mikkel, my co-host, had a discussion about in terms of your wife and the standing with your wife over other people and stuff like that. Other family members, especially like your mom and whatnot. And I told him, I said, listen, when you get married, things change because yes, you may have known this person or that person your whole life or longer or whatever, but that's your partner. That's your legally bound partner who you're going to create a family with. That person should always come first in life. Your wife, your kids, or say your significant other, your spouse, your kids should always come first. Because you're creating a family, right? This man is never going to be capable of doing that. He literally wants to pit his mom and his potentially wife against each other. When your wife should be the most important person in your life and your kids. your future kids. You want to potentially create havoc between girlfriend and mom, and you want to live with her. No way. No fucking way. This guy garbage. But yeah, he says like his mom does get jealous or would get jealous if they were to move out of the home. Oh well, grow up, move out. You want to, be in relationships and you're in your 30s, move. Or at least work towards it. Anyway, that's it for Jamie and Kathleen. Let's move on to John and Sprite. So, we are still waiting on his bag. His bag are still not there. But anyway, we're going to go shopping for some clothing. So he has at least something, instead of wearing John's clothes. So we're at this little boutique, and surprise to nobody, Sprite hates everything that's in the house. It's not a style. Again, he likes to be in plain things. This is not it for him. But we do seem to, at one point, once he's kind of said no to about half the store, he finds something that he's like, this is okay. And John's like, do you want to try it on? He's like, sure. So he goes to try it on. He comes back out. I didn't even need to know Sprite enough to know the look on his face was pure disgust, and he didn't like it after all. So much for that. So they're going to go do something else. So John is like, let's go bar hopping. Yeah, we're going to go do that. He says he wants to do this because he does see Sprite like drinking with his friends, and so he figures, if I see him drinking with his friends, like he'll drink with me. So they go to this one bar where there's beer pong, and Sprite's like, what the fuck is beer pong? I've heard of ping pong. What's beer pong? So that sounds Sprite. So they're playing it, and again, it's actually very good. I've never played beer pong. I have no desire, but he does make a good point though, where he's like, the ball's dirty. So you're going to put this dirty ass ball in the beer that I'm supposed to drink. I don't want to do that. At one point the ball goes onto the floor and he's like, it's dirty. I don't want to. And the thing that's kind of gross in this moment too is that John literally says to him, like, just drink it. The alcohol will clean it. Oh my God. Oh my God. The alcohol will clean it. And then you're still going to drink it. What do you think? That the dirt just dissolves instantly? Like, oh, but Sprite is so over this. He wants nothing to do with any of this. And he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And the way that John handles this moment, which is so fucking gross, is if I win, or sorry, if you, let's do this first. If you win beer pong, then we don't need to play again. We can go home. We can end the night. But if I win, we gotta keep going. And of course, John wins, and he thinks like he's being cute and playful and whatever, and he is. I'm not denying that he isn't being cute and playful, but it's not what he wants, not what Sprite wants. So it's just like, stop it. He literally says that he wants to stop. He is no longer giving consent to the beer pong and the bar hopping and all of it. He wants to go back to the hostel or just be done with this. And you're forcing it upon him. Not a good look. Not a good look. It actually made me feel really uncomfortable that he was kind of forcing this. But he says, Sprite says, like, all he kind of wants to do is just do the things that he wants to do, and he's not thinking about what I want to do, which is true. It's true. But as they're leaving the beer pong bar to go to a different bar, Sprite literally says, like, I just want to go back. I want to end this day. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. And I guess they're done and they're not going to go. But he's frustrated because he's like, I just wanted to have fun with him because I see he has fun with other people. So why can't he have fun with me? My guy, read the fucking room. Read the fucking room. Anyway, it's the next day. They're going to go surfing UK. So when they get there, they're getting ready to go surfing. They're going to do surfing lessons. And John is putting on the wetsuit, which is obviously tight. And Sprite is like, oh, his belly, it's huge. It's so huge. Why the fuck is it so huge? He's like, I just want to rub his belly like Buddha. Shit. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I love the bitchiness on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, you're giving him his weight. Not great. But anyway. So they start surfing. I think he goes first. And he is actually doing a really good job. He's standing on the board. He's catching waves. He's doing good. And then we go to John's turn. He's not doing so good. He keeps falling. He's like, I really wanted to, or was it Sprite? I think might have been Sprite. I said, that is going to absorb everything that we do together. Him literally falling on his, like, without really getting to stand on that board. But anyways. But, as they're kind of doing like the last try on standing on the board, he seems to do a little bit better. He's able to stand, kind of semi catch a wave. So that's great. Now we see them at a restaurant after the surfing, and John just really wants to know why he didn't like the beer pong. Because it's not him. It's not for him. It was for you. Anyway. And Sprite says that he just didn't get it. He explains, like, yes, I go drinking with a group. It's not just like two people, you know. And it's just not something that he necessarily enjoys doing. At this point, John seems to get it. He's like, I think we could have just done a restaurant. After all, maybe we could have skipped the beer pong and Sprite. I guess the restaurant is kind of just like, this is romantic. And that's kind of more his speed, which is fine. But yeah, that's basically it for John and Sprite. Nicole and Tahir, or is it Tahir? Tahir. I feel like Tahir is better. Nicole and Tahir. Not much here, but her family has not met him in person, which is understandable since they didn't get to go to the wedding. She said that the wedding was very quick. It was, it was just more for the, I guess, legalities of it than anything. But then we see her meeting up with her friend Anastasia and her brother. I think they're together. Her brother's pretty cute. And she says, like, she's obviously going to reach out. We know she is. And there's the potential that Tahir could be coming back with her because they are just waiting on the visa to get approved. Her brother says, like, what if he gets denied? Then what? So what's the plan? And what's plan B? And plan B is for her to move out there. And And her brother's like, does he get jealous? Are there issues? Did he tell you what to do? And she's like, he can't get jealous. Um, and she says, like, I can't even wear sandals because the sandals would show her feet. And he doesn't like that. And it's a very good point because I said, I never covered them, but I said this about Eve and Muhammad. You want to talk about having to dress, which I'm not poo-pooing the fact that you have, like, this is the belief of the Islamic faith. I get it. But when you have someone like Muhammad, like Mahmoud, literally saying, you have to dress modestly because my religion says that women need to dress modestly. Yet, you met these women in bikinis. That was the case with Eve. That is the case here because her brother says as such. So how can he sit here and say, you need to dress modestly, yet you saw me in a two-piece, And he's like, what is the problem? And Anastasia says, if you move there, things will change even more. He's going to have more expectations because you're going to be in his territory, on his home turf. He's going to expect you to be modest. He's going to expect you, he might even expect you to wear a hijab. We don't know. He's going to expect you to convert. He's going to expect all of these things because you're in his home. But then in the next scene, we see her calling to hear, or he's calling her, sorry, and he's got a message about the visa. So they're going to discuss it. And he's like, listen, I didn't want to upset you. It's been tough, and I'm really sad to tell you, but bitch, the visa was successful. He didn't say the bitch part, but it was successful. And I'm like, you buried the lead, sir. You buried the fucking lead. But he is going to be going to England, so at least we don't have to, I guess, worry too much about there's still going to be power dynamics. There's going to be this control element. There are still things that she is unaware of that he hasn't told her. So we'll see. But that is it for the third episode of 90 Day UK. So there's going to be a delay in when we get episodes with Ava, just because I'm behind, but we're gonna work on it. Don't you worry, and don't worry, we still have episodes coming. I'm trying to get them out as fast as I can, but yeah, that is it for this episode of 90 Day UK. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityt2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.